Hello everybody and welcome back to the Mongoli Show. Today we're taking a look at Cosmic Crucible Season 6. Now it's worth noting that I have about 40 million TCP and I'm in Platinum 1. So if you're in Grand Masters or something, this might not be the best video for you. And I will give some options for if you're lower than me. But let's get right into it and I'll give you my initial impressions and what I'm going to be running on defense. All right, so what we're going to look at is the global abilities first. First off, all of your symbiote characters count as Sinister 6 and Superior 6. It is worth noting that does not go both ways. I've had people try to throw ideas at me. It's like, that doesn't work. Hive Mind counts as Superior 6, but Superior 6 does not count as Hive Mind. So keep that in mind. Now beyond that, Superior 6 characters are going to on spawn gain defense up. On successful attack, bury yourself for 15% of max health. And here's the tricky one. When successfully attacked, remove revive once from the attacker. So if you've got like a Dormammu on defense, you want to run your Superior 6 or your symbiotes into that. And then whenever one of them attacks you, they lose their revive. So that'll be pretty strong. I still think Dormammu's good. I just be aware of that going forward. They also get on defense 20% max health and 10% damage. That's pretty standard, and of course the exhausted rule. So for room number 1, it says on defense and offense, raiders and skirmishers gain 200% extra damage when they're under 50% health. Now I've seen some people talk about the Extreme X-Men here. I personally want to keep my Extreme on offense if possible, so I thought the Gamma team would go in well here. And if you've got Dormammu, throw him in there as well. Now we just talked about Dormammu not being quite as strong because Superior 6 characters and thereby symbiote characters are going to be able to take away the revives, but that does kind of force their hand into playing one of those teams into this room, which saves them from attacking a different room, which is okay with me. Now we do have 3 raiders on this team, 2 strikers, and no skirmishers. But with both Red Hulk and Hulk being raiders, getting that extra damage in there is going to be really, really strong. And if we do get the revive mechanic, we're going to get that 200% damage twice. It doesn't stack, but our characters are going to go below 50%, get a couple of hits in, die, come back, go below 50%, get a couple of hits in, and then die again. Or hopefully kill. That's my plan. That's what I'm thinking. If you want to put Extreme X-Men in here, that is an option, but there's other rooms that are also good for them, or you can keep them on offense. But I wanted to give you 2 different options there. If you don't have Dormammu, just go with the full Gamma team. You'll be just fine. Room number 2 says Mystic characters gain 20% drain per negative effect. Bleed, offense down, trauma, or disrupted. Now, Darkhold seems like a no-brainer in this room. I decided to put Quicksilver on that team as well because he is going to spawn in the Scarlet Witch, so you could potentially have 6 characters on this team. He's also a Mystic, so it does really work out well. This is a really, really good team. Unfortunately, your opponents are going to see this coming a mile away, but if this helps you with your efficiency and it slows them down a little bit, I still think it's worth it. Room number 3 says, when a positive effect is applied to a character, increase the duration of all positive effects on allies for that character by 1 to a maximum of 3. Also, when a negative effect is applied to a character, increase the duration of all negative effects on all allies of that character by +1 to a maximum of 3. Now, when I see this room, what I am thinking is Robbie Reyes gives out a ridiculous amount of negative effects, as does Photon. You're also going to get Miss Marvel. Hardlight is going to give herself taunt, things like that are going to stick around for a bit longer as well. Now, I just literally yesterday unlocked Super Skrull. This seems like a really good home for him, but if I'm perfectly honest, if you don't have a Super Skrull, there are a lot of other good options you can put in this room. I would not put Apocalypse with this team. I would keep him on offense personally. One of the other options I was playing around with, I'm not sure this is actually a good idea, but I was thinking Red Guardian or some other character that has pre-taunt. That way, essentially, the pre-taunt goes off. He'll keep that around for a little while. They can't hit who they want to hit. They have to hit Red Guardian. By the time you kill the Red Guardian, Miss Marvel has probably had her turn. She's applied taunt. Now you have to focus on her. And all those turns are just giving your Black Cat, your Robbie, and your Photon time to go crazy on the enemies, applying tons of negative effects that they can't get rid of anytime soon. Is that actually good? I don't really know, but now that I've unlocked Super Skrull, that's the way I'm going. If you don't have a Super Skrull though, I do think that's a decent option. You can also look at Infinity Watch in this room. They give themselves a ton of positive effects and they will all stick around for a very, very long time. And because they've got Safeguard, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, I did save Infinity Watch personally for a different room, but that's a decent option if you don't want to use the Secret Defenders here. Room number 4 says, anytime a character gains energy from an active ability, they gain +1 extra energy. When an enemy character dies, allied characters gain +1 ability energy. Ultimate abilities cost +3 more ability energy, so you're not going to be coming in here and going off with your ultimate on turn 1 like you're used to. Now the nice thing about this is if you look at my team here, we've got 4 of the Hive Mind, I don't have Red Goblin at the moment, and Shocker. Shocker might seem like a bit of a weird pick, but let me walk you through my thought process and see if this doesn't make any sense. So essentially, Void Knight is going to spawn and he's going to generate energy for himself as well as all of his Hive Mind allies. So that will not hit Shocker, but it'll hit the other 4, giving you more ability energy than your opponent will have. He also has a special that'll generate ability energy, and it says right in the rules that anytime a character gains energy from an active ability, so the passive won't work, but his special sure will, they gain +1 ability energy. So he's going to be powering himself up pretty well in this room. Now the reason Shocker is here is because he also has a special ability that's going to generate power. Assuming he's got 2 Superior 6 allies, he will give 1 ability energy to all of his Sinister 6 allies. All of the Hive Mind will count as both of those. So this could actually work out really well. He's kind of just there to be a battery, to be perfectly honest, but he does also hand out some pretty good positive effects. So I think he's going to be okay here, at very least until we get Red Goblin. This is one of the ones that I'm kind of more theory crafty on, so if you're just like, that sounds really stupid, so be it. But I think this has potential. Worst case scenario, he's just powering up Void Knight, and Void Knight's really good, so we'll see. For room number 5, tech characters. Whenever a tech character uses an ultimate ability, revive an ally tech character at 100%. Now my first thought here was Pegasus. I wanted to keep my Superior 6 on offense, but somebody reminded me that all of the Pegasus people have their ultimates on turn 1. It's not likely somebody's going to die on turn 1, so if they're on defense, you don't really have any way of controlling that. And Rescue's ultimate is reviving somebody, so technically she could revive 2 people if she's on offense, but on defense, she's probably not going to revive anybody. So Pegasus here, if you see it there, is probably... So if you see Pegasus in your opponent's defense, it's probably a give me for you. You can bring in something else and just wreck them. Even Pegasus on Pegasus, I think your Pegasus is going to do better than their Pegasus. So we went with the Superior 6 / Sinister 6. We have all tech characters here, and they have staggered ultimates. So when you use one, it'll be like round 1, the second will be round 2 or 3, and then round 3 or 4, assuming it even lasts that long. They're also an incredibly strong team in both War and Cosmic Crucible, so you should have this team fairly well built. If you do, you're going to see really, really good results from this, I think, and they're going to keep coming back over and over again, which is kind of gross and amazing. And then finally for room 6, on turn, characters remove all positive effects from self and heal 10% of max health for each positive effect removed. Now, my Infinity Watch is pretty small, but it's been like 4 seasons of us saying, don't build them, they're only going to fall off, and they're getting better in Cosmic Crucible. So I think this is finally the time for me to build my Infinity Watch. I am years late on this one, but they keep being useful in this game mode and in some game modes. I think it's just time. Now, eventually their stats are going to fall off, but their kits are so good that they are still sticking around. They're still useful. What I'm going to do with this room is I'm going to have them in there, and because they've got Safeguard, they should not lose their positive effects. So your opponent's going to lose all their positive effects. Sure, they're going to heal, but we're going to keep all of our positive effects and just keep going and just keep hammering them. We've got the revives, assuming they don't use Superior 6 against us. So this should be a pretty strong room, and if I build these characters up higher, or if yours are already built up high, you should do really well here. All right, that's our defenses for Cosmic Crucible Season 6 going into the new week, the new season. I am very excited for this one. I have been living in Platinum 2 for far too long. My goal is to get up to Diamonds. I want to start bumping my roster up a little bit better, playing a little bit stronger. This is my list. What do you guys think? Do you have any really strong complaints? Do you have any like, wow, that was a really good idea? I would love to hear any feedback you've got. Keep in mind, we are in Platinum. We have about 40 million TCP, so your mileage may vary depending on if you're way higher or way lower than that, but this is what I'm going with. What do you think? Let me know. Till then, Commanders, have a good time. Good luck to you.